In this part, Elizabeth was surprised and called Ives. Ives. Ives replied to her, yes. Elizabeth told him that hey, judging from the way they speak, and hang attitudes towards them, it's very likely that they are from the royal house. Ives thinking that I have known this earlier. Then Yunfei asked to Ives that are you still willing to escort us? Ives replied to him that whatever. As a disciple of the house Windsor, all I need to do is obey. Yunfei replied to Ives, good. Let's set off to the Kunwu Mountains, then. Greg and Sansa seeing all the situation, then Greg saying to her that let's go. Then they all were going towards the Kunwu Mountains. In way they saw human skeleton and birds are eating their bones and meat. Then they saw the sneak on the trees. Then Yunfei asked to Ives that where exactly are we now? Ives replied to him that we have only entered the forest for half a day. It will still take us several days. Yunfei was surprised and say, what? Still several days? Ives saying to him that you a group of aristocrats who all the time live a comfortable and leisurely life. You really leave me speechless. We are still very far away from the ancient heavenly connection tomb. It will take us about 6 days to walk deep inside the Kunwu Mountains. Today is just the first day. Heng asked to Ives that we have wandered deep inside the thick forests for almost a day, but still can't find a road. You led us into a wrong direction, didn't you? You were saying to Heng that yeah, I think he led us into a wrong direction. He never knows the right way. He's just tricking us. Then Ives gestured towards one direction and saying to Ewer, you may not know it. There are indeed many little roads inside the Kunwu Mountains. But you may ignore a fact. They all failed to find it. If we took the roads they traveled, how could we find the ancient heavenly connection tomb, right? If it's that easy to find the ancient heavenly connection tomb, then anyone can find it. Ewer was upset and say PFFT. Yunfei saying to Ewer, that he's actually not wrong. Then Yunfei saying to Ives that let's continue to move on. Ives smiled and replied to him, okay, boss. Suddenly Elizabeth listened the clang of snack and she was afraid. Ives cut the snack with his sword. Then Ives saying to Elizabeth that the Kunwu Mountains are full of danger. Follow closely behind me. Elizabeth replied to him that okay. Ives told to them that if we go 1 kilometer further on forwards, we will reach the Chongtai Immortal Valley. There is a bridge. After traveling through that bridge, we will see another new world. Yunfei asked to Ives, oh. Chongtai Immortal Valley. What's that? Ives replied to Yunfei that it's said that the Chongtai Immortal Valley is a piece of wonderland, where many people who cultivated to be immortal ever lived. Yunfei saying to Ives that cultivation to be immortals. I really want to take a close look at such a place. Those who cultivate to be immortals throughout the history are the ones that have amazing talent and invincible cultivation base. It's said that their cultivation base has been beyond everyone's imagination, and reached the level that the ordinary can never reach. Ives laugh, ha ha ha, and say, someone may encounter a fated chance, after entering the Chongtai Immortal Valley. Yang was surprised and asked to Ives that oh. What fated chance? Have you encountered it before? Ives replied to Yang that surely, a fated chance to be an immortal. If I had encountered it before, I wouldn't have led the way for you all here. Then they arrived the Immortal Valley, and Ives told them that we have arrived. What you see ahead is the Chongtai Immortal Valley. Elizabeth was so happy to see that place and say, wow. What a beautiful place. Then Ives saying to them that let's go. The ancient heavenly connection tomb is inside there. It's lucky for you all that you can see such a beautiful wonderland this life. Several thousand of adventurers entered the Kunwu Mountains. More than 99% lost their way in the thick forests. Very few of them can reach here. Without me leading the way, you even can't find this place after wandering around in the forests for dozens of days. Then Ives asked to Ewer, how do you like this place? I didn't lie to you, right? Ewer was angry and saying to Ives humph. Then Elizabeth asked to Ives that have you ever been here before? Ives replied to her that yes. Ives remember, when he was coming at this valley first time with Master. Ives was surprised and say wow. Then Ives' master told him that what you see ahead is the Chongtai Immortal Valley. After traveling several hundred kilometers, you will reach the legendary ancient heavenly connection tomb. Ives asked to Master that is there an immortal living here. Master told him that no, but he's in existence very close to becoming a real immortal. He never cares about what's happening outside. It's even very hard for me to see him even once. Then Ives asked to Master that what does an immortal look like? Did they look like just as we do? Master replied to Ives that remember, the true meaning of immortal lies in the realm you reach. The so-called immortal are those, who truly understand the laws of nature between heaven and earth, and abandon the emotions that all mortals have, such as hatred, indignation, hostility. With a peaceful mind, they have been completely integrated with the heaven and earth into one. So, in my own view, all those who have great virtues and wisdom can be called an immortal. Ives asked to him that all those who have great virtues and wisdom can be called an immortal. If so, there are countless immortals in this world, aren't there? Master replied to Ives that is wrong. The fact is just the reverse. There are altogether 8 sufferings in the mortal world. The first 4 sufferings of birth, again, sickness and death. Suffering of separating from loved ones. Suffering of associating with those we dislike. Suffering due to unfulfilled wishes and desires. Suffering of the flourishing of the 5 skandhas. It's tremendously tough for the mortal people to penetrate these. Ives was surprised and asked to Master that have you penetrated these Master? Master replied to Ives that no, I haven't. Master, even you can't penetrate these. It is even less likely that I could penetrate. Master replied to Ives that not necessarily. Ives, look far into the distance. When we, human beings, are at the young age, we are just like the rising sun. There is an infinite amount of energy stored inside the sun, though it can't feel too much warmth. We are born to this world, just in order to feel this world. To feel all this world. To feel all these sufferings in this world. Only in this way, can we learn to be grateful and have a merciful heart on others. After that Ives is worried and saying to Elizabeth that I seem to understand a little. Some of things can be understood only when a man grows up. Yunfei say that what a strong immortal spiritual chi. Even these ordinary fish, birds, flowers and insect are also tinged with some spiritual chi. Enveloped by the spiritual chi, I can feel that all my pores are feeling comfortable. This is really a place where people can cultivate to be immortals. Ives was shocked and saying to Yunfei that child Zhou, I am afraid you can't become an immortal this life. Heng gestured toward Ives and saying to him that how dare you insult your highness. Then Yunfei asked to Ives that I am somewhat interested. Could you tell me why? Ives replied to him that as well as no, immortals are those who abandon all worldly troubles and isolate themselves from the world outside. Child Zhou, you were born as a member of the royal house, and has a lifetime of treasures to enjoy. And you have Yer by your side. Are you really willing to abandon all worldly troubles and cultivation of an immortal? Yunfei replied to Ives that cultivate to be an immortal. Then Yer came near to Yunfei and calls him, Yunfei. Yunfei. Then Yunfei asked to Yer that what's wrong. Yer was worried and asked to Yunfei that what were you looking at just now? Yunfei replied to Yer that nothing. I just have some sigh at something. Let's go. Don't think too much. Then Yang came near to Yer and tells that Yunfei is a son of the emperor. His ambition is to rule the world, so he won't have any interest in being an immortal. Then Yer saying to Yunfei brother, wait for me. Then Yunfei asked to Ives that speaking of you, I have more interest in your identity. If you were merely an ordinary disciple of the House of Windsor, how could you say a flow of such words? Elizabeth was surprised and replied to Yunfei that Ives is naturally not an ordinary disciple of the House of Windsor. Yunfei shocked and say, oh. Elizabeth put hand on mouth and thinking that oh no. I shouldn't have said it. Then she saying to Yunfei that oh. Our supreme elder is about to take him as a direct apprentice. Yunfei replied to Elizabeth, oh. Ives saying to Yang, that chilled Yang, you must be joking. I don't have any special identity. I only experience much more than others do. Yang replied to him, ha ha ha, alright. I trust you temporarily. Then Heng saying to Yang that don't get cheated by them. Ives is sinister and cunning. He many have some other purposes for bringing us here. Yang replied to Heng that I have my own judgment. You don't need to say so much. Elizabeth saying to Ives that has he already seen through your identity. Ives replied to her that nobody will see through it as long as someone doesn't do stupid things. After that they seeing the fog, and Ives saying to Heng that there is a dense fog array ahead. I am afraid there are many extreme dangers inside. Heng was shocked and asked to Ives that hey, why don't you go there? Ives replied to him that I can't go, of course. If I went inside, how could I help Child Zhou break the dense fog array later? You go to think this way. Chilled Joe, Chilled Yang and Ur all have very noble identities. It's certain that they can't go inside, right? These two guards need to follow closely Child Zaho to protect him. It's more certain that they also can't go inside, right? Then Ives put arm on Elizabeth should in saying to Heng that she is a woman with a very delicate body. So, she can't go inside either. You are the only one who are suitable to go inside. Heng was angry and aggressive, Heng saying to Ives that you want to kill me using the hands of another. Ives replied to Heng that I always do things fairly. You can ask the others by your side whether you're the most suitable one to go inside. Heng say, Ives saying to Heng that you got to think this way. If no one dares to take the lead to go inside the dense fog array, how could ITV think of a way to break it? If I got trapped inside the dense fog array, who could come to save me? So, I am really sorry for bothering you to personally go inside first. Heng angrily saying to Ives that you little. Elizabeth laugh ha ha ha. Yang saying to Heng that Ives is just scaring you. Look inside. It's dead calm inside. There won't be any risk. It's nothing but scouting out the road ahead. Heng was too much upset and say that is this what you called tranquil? I knew there must be full of many dangers at the first glance. On the other side, Lily seeing towards the purple jade and thinking that the purple jade that Ives gave to me helped me a lot in my recovery these days. I am curious where he found it. On the other side, Yunfei saying to Heng that go inside to scout the road for me. If you help Med find the ancient heavenly connection tomb, I will reward you. Heng replied to him that alright. Heng seeing towards Ives and thinking that, you bastard. This isn't over. Then Ives saying to Heng that what a moment, young master Heng Windsor. This dense fog array was set up by an immortal. After entering it, you must free your mind of any mortal feeling. Such as impatience and fury. Or you will get trapped inside, and have no way to make it out of the dense fog array. Ives smiled and saying to Heng that please do remember this, young master. Heng say humph. After that Heng going towards the fog array. Then Yang saying to Ives that you want to use my bro hand to kill him, right? How cruel you are. Ives replied to Yang that you must be kidding. Ives asked to Yang that you clearly know that there is a dense fog array ahead. We have no choice but send a person to scout out the road. Among us, who's more suitable than him? And Yang asked to him that and what? Ives replied to him that if let Chilled Joe choose, it must be him. Yang was surprised and asked to him that why. Ives replied to him that I guess he doesn't stand on the same side of Chilled Joe does, right? Then Yang asked to him that how do you know it? Ives replied to him that he stands in awe of you, but always estranges himself from you. I can feel he is on his guard. You can't kill him with your own hands, for fear of the whole house Windsor behind him. So, if I propose that he should enter the dense fog array first, you will naturally go along with my proposal. Am I right? Yunfei saying to Ives that actually, you don't have to tell us this. Sometimes, the smarter a man is, the unluckier he is. Then Ives laugh, ha ha ha, and saying to Yunfei that you must be kidding. A smart man has bad luck, but he knows how to take advantage of others' power. Let me put it this way. He and I are hostile to each other. If I don't take his life, he will take mine first. Yunfei remained silent. Then Ives saying to Yunfei that I will die, anyway. Why don't I take chance? I killed him, and you have got the goods on me. This means my life is in your hands. If you want me dead, I have no choice but to die here. If you think I am useful to you, why not keep me by your side? Besides, I am only one who can break this dense fog array. You are saying to Ives that you are so sinister. Ives replied to Ur that you are not wrong. I am nothing but a sinister man. A sinister man has his own way of survival. Then Ives asked to Yunfei that you want me to live or die. Yunfei replied to Ives that you said you were the only one who can break the dense fog array. Tell us how you plan to break it. We are not easily tricked. Ives saying to him THST rashness can't help us break the dense fog array. But, I can lead you all through the dense fog. Believe it or not is up to you. You are saying to Ives that you want to find a chance to kill us. All by relying on your familiarity with the terrain here, right? Ives replied to Ur that you must be kidding. I will also enter the dense fog array. You know, a sinister man is always afraid of death. There is no hatred between us, why will I risk my life to kill you all? Then you are saying to brother Yunfei, that Ives is sinister and cunning. What if he slips away and leaves us alone there, after entering the dense fog array? After that Elizabeth was angry and saying to Yor that you keep saying, he is sinister and cunning. You have gone too far. What good is it for him to leave you alone there? There is no hatred between you and him. Yor angrily say humph. Then Ives try to convenience them and saying that to tell you the truth, I am not 100% sure that I can lead you through the dense fog array. There is a cruel fact that we can't reach the ancient heavenly connection tomb without passing through the Chongtai Immortal Valley. Now is the time for you to decide whether to go or not. I never had the thought of killing you. Yunfei gesture and say lead the way. Yor was upset and saying to Yunfei, that don't believe him so easily. Yunfei replied to Yor that I know what I am doing now. After that Yor thinking that he doesn't believe it, no matter what I say, why was that? Then the Yaru saying to Yor that you know nothing about a man. How can a man be stopped by these difficulties and obstacles? Only by moving forward with firm determination, can a man make an achievement that shocks the whole world. What he only wants is the whole world. Yunfei saying to her, humph, I don't want to talk with you. Yaru replied to him that all right, I will keep my mouth shut if you don't like to listen to it. Yunfei saying to Ives that Yaru always knows what I think and what I want. What I want is only the whole world. I will take a chance, no matter how dangerous the road ahead is. Yaru say that I am flattered. Ives saying to Yunfei that Yor knows nothing about what a man is thinking, while you two know nothing about what a woman is thinking. When a woman is deeply in love with a man, she will do everything for him. Even at the cost of her life, and she will think for him, always. All she wants is not the world but him only. Elizabeth was surprised and asked to Ives that it seems you know everything. Then Ives came near to Elizabeth and replied to her that actually what I know best is you. Elizabeth was upset and saying to Ives that but I am not as good as you just said. Ives replied to Elizabeth that it's a pity that you are a woman. If you were a man, I bet you would gallop all over the world. Elizabeth was happy and asked to Ives that what are you saying? Elizabeth caught Ives' shirt and Ives say ouch. Elizabeth saying to Ives thy stop running. I will tear you into pieces. Ives say, have mercy please. Yaru seeing towards Ives and Elizabeth and say that they two are a perfect match. Yor start crying, then Yunfei came near to Yor and saying to him that you know I have no choice. If I give up now, I am afraid my brothers wouldn't give me any chance to live. After all, they all want me dead. Only by finding the ancient heavenly connection tomb, and getting the ancient holy treasure, can stand a chance. Yor ride to Yunfei that enough, I know it, let's go. Then Yunfei saying to Yor that when I get the throne, I will make you empress. Yor replied to him that okay. After that Ives saying to all of them that let's go, since everyone is ready. Keep close to me at all times, after we enter the dense fog array. Don't blame me, if you get lost. There are all kinds of phantasms inside the dense fog array. If you see it, just keep in mind that. Then they entered in dense fog array, Ives saying to Ives that I can see nothing here, and I suddenly feel a gust of chill. Ives turn and hold Elizabeth's hand, and saying to her that hold my hand, and stay close to me. Elizabeth say Ives, I will. In this dense fog array, without exception, a man's life is full of greed, resentment and ignorance. When a man is obsessed with resentment, he will even harm others at the cost of his own life. In the mortal world, if a man can let go of obsession, and have great virtues and wisdom, he will be lauded as an immortal being. The real meaning of an immortal being lies in being free of any worries. When they entered in the dense fog array, they were look the word forget written on the stone. Ives thought that why is there a word, forget, carved on the stone? Forget, is a word that has a lot of profound meaning. If you want to be an immortal, you must learn to forget worldly feelings first. Elizabeth saying to Ives that it seems that you know how to cultivate to be an immortal. Ives turned and replied to Elizabeth that of course, I know. I also want to be an immortal, if I have a chance. Elizabeth was surprised and saying to Ives that, if you dare to cultivate to be an immortal, I will kill you and then myself. Yaru saying to Ives that actually, I think you're an interesting person. Ives replied to Yaru that oh, really? Do you want to know more about me, then? Then Ives asked to Yaru that what's interesting about me. She replied to Ives that no, I don't. Elizabeth was angry and say, Ives. Yunfei saying to Yang that sometimes, it's easy to forget things. But sometimes it's incredibly hard to forget things. You're right. Cultivation to be an immortal is not something that an ordinary person can do. Ives saying to him that this dense fog array was set up by an immortal. Always stick to your original wish, or you will be easily confused by the phantasms. Everyone stay close to me. Then Elizabeth asked to Ives that why have you been to such a dangerous place before? Ives was surprised and asked to her that how can you know I have been here before? Elizabeth replied to him that don't make me as fool. How can you know this place so well, if you haven't been here before? Ives laughed, ha ha ha, and saying to her that you are becoming much cleverer than before.